Hey guys, this is Jared from Talk Android. Today we're going to be unboxing the new Moto Z phones that are going to be hitting Verizon's network later this month. We have the Moto Z and we have the Moto Z Force, both of which are very similar phones. The Moto Z Force, however, does have the shatterproof screen that Motorola and Lenovo have been talking up, as well as a 23 megapixel camera as opposed to the 13 megapixel camera of the Moto Z. Does also have a slightly larger battery. So with that being said, let's open them up, see what they look like. So let's start with the Moto Z Force. It's the bigger, better version of the two. This one does feature the shatterproof screen, does have the 23 megapixel camera. It is a little thicker. Bezels are supposed to be a little wider. It's actually pretty heavy. It's thin, it's very, very thin. You can see some of the camera bump here thanks to making room for the Moto mods, but it's a little heavier than I thought it would be. It does feel sturdy. I can already tell on the back that you are going to be looking at a fingerprint magnet. The black picks up everything. So on the face of the device we have our front-facing camera, we have a flash, looks like. It's odd to see a flash on the front of the device. Up top, we've got our SIM card tray that also houses the micro SD card. We've got two volume buttons and a power button. Got a fingerprint scanner down here at the bottom alongside a USB Type-C port. Type-C is reversible, which is nice. The back of the device has the Moto mods connectors. These are mostly wireless. They do have a strong, some kind of magnet in them. That's what holds the Moto mods on. You'll see that a bit with the Moto style case. Overall, it is, it's a little thicker. It's probably a little thicker than the Galaxy S7, although I don't have one right here to test. So that's the phone itself. In the box, we have one of the Moto style shells. It does say to take this off if you're using any of the other Moto mods. The style shells fit on the back of the Moto Z just like one of the style shells would. Almost acts like the back of the device. You can see once you put it on, it does add a little bit extra thickness. It does hide that camera bump, kind of fills out the device. It does feel good to hold with the style shell on. It's got a soft finish. It is made of wood or fake wood. If you're not crazy about the dark wood finish, Motorola is releasing a few of these in some different designs, so got options. Let's go ahead and peel that sticker off the front. So there's the phone itself. Everything else in the box looks like we've got warranty stuff. That's boring. We have a USB Type-C charger. Interestingly, Motorola is shipping this as a single piece. Most flagship phones, the chargers are separated, so you actually plug the cable into a wall block, but it looks like Motorola's got that all together. It is Type-C, which means it's reversible, should charge pretty quickly. Flip it out, goes in either way. One of the better features of USB Type-C cables. We have the headphone adapter for the Moto Z. When the Moto Z was announced, it does not have a headphone jack. So if you want to use your old 3.5mm headphones, you are going to need this adapter. Plug that in, plug your headphones into the adapter, you have your music. For some people, that's probably not going to be a worthwhile trade-off. If you're not using Bluetooth headphones, you're obviously not going to be able to charge the device while you're listening to music. That's definitely a drawback, but it does make it easier to create a thinner phone. The Moto Z Force does have a shatterproof screen and a 3500 milliamp battery. Hard to imagine they would have been able to cram that into a phone with the thicker 3.5mm jack. So some trade-offs there. And we have the SIM tray tool, which will allow us to reach the SIM card. Well, it's got a nice bounce and click to it. SIM card and micro SD card. It does take a nano SIM, if you were wondering. Seems pretty standard for flagship phones now. But that's all there is to it. So let's get it turned on, see how it actually feels to play with it. So went ahead and turned on the Moto Z Force so you can kind of see how everything works. So far, screen looks fantastic. Feels like a great device. It's quick, responsive, screen is bright. The fingerprint scanner looks a little weird, but it's actually one of the fastest fingerprint scanners I think I've ever used. It has a unique feature where you can actually use the fingerprint scanner to turn the screen off, so you don't even have to touch the button over here. Usually, you know, I've seen other phones use the fingerprint scanner to turn it on, but never the screen off, so that's a nice touch. It's quick. Finger on, finger off, right there. Obviously you have your pin backup if you would rather not use the fingerprint, but so far so good. So if you're curious how the regular Moto Z stacks up to the Moto Z Force, it's packaged pretty much the same. Already got this one turned on. Everything in the regular Moto Z box is going to be the same. We've got the style swap cover, or the style case, whatever Motorola is calling this one. You've got USB Type-C chargers, headphone adapters, SIM tray tools. Everything's the same there. The regular Moto Z is quite a bit thinner. Comparing the two, might be hard to see this far away on video, but just holding the two, the regular Moto Z is quite a bit thinner. It's lighter, a little easier to hold. It does have smaller bezels, but you lose the shatterproof screen. So in my opinion, it is easier to reach up and hit the notification shade. Makes that a little tougher on the Moto Z Force, but if you're rough on phones, want something a little bigger, want something shatterproof, the Moto Z Force is probably going to be the better option. It does also help that the Moto Z Force has a better camera, plus it has a better battery life. It's got a 3500 milliamp battery as opposed to, I believe, a 2800 milliamp in the regular Moto Z. A little too early to tell, just opened them up. Right now we've got 99% battery and 84% battery. The Moto Z Force came out of the box with a little more juice. Probably completely unrelated. Actually using the two, speed seems identical. No real difference there. So for right now, that's going to be the unboxing of both the Moto Z and the Moto Z Force. I'm going to play with them for a little bit, hopefully get a good feel for them, and we'll see how they go.